In today's challenge, we're going to be walking you through how to create SMART goals so that you can take your desires and wishes and actually put a plan to them so that you can reach your goals easy, fast, and efficiently. Okay, to get started with our goal worksheet, the first one we're going to address is the brainstorming worksheet. And this is we're going to get all of our ideas down before we get to actually honing in on one specific goal. So to get this started, I just want you to take 30 minutes and create a list as many goals and bucket list items that you can, without structure, without focusing on the words or the concepts of whether it's attainable or SMART or any of that. Just give me a bucket list, and we have a section specifically for your business goals, your personal goals, and your relationship goals to help keep you centered and have that balance in your life. Obviously, with this being the Business Growth Network, bigger focus is going to be put on your business goals. But if you do not have balance, if you don't have your personal and relationship houses in order, your business cannot succeed. So first and foremost, before we move on, just start here with brainstorming your bucket list items. Come up with at least 30 that you would like to do in a lifetime. After you get that bucket list put together, go ahead and get to the next worksheet where we're going to start now, where we're going to start refining your top 3 bucket list items. So go ahead, after you get your list done, and circle the 3 that are the most important to you that you would like to focus on. So everyone has the worksheet. The idea is that all the goals are SMART. I never remember that acronym, but at the bottom, specific. That means they're going to be hyper specific. Not, I want to create a business. I want to create a marketing agency. I want to create a marketing agency that does Facebook ads. Like, the more specific, the better, because that makes it more easy to measure it. It makes knowing exactly which dots you need to get to your goal, makes those really obvious. The other one is measurable, and measurable can be really difficult depending on the style of goal. So one of my goals that I used was to become an extrovert from an introvert. That is not measurable whatsoever. Like, how do you measure being an extrovert? What you can do,
from other people.
Feedback, but you can break it down into things that extroverts do. Extroverts go out to events and see people. So you can literally measure, I will go to 2 events every single month. I will track how many friends I have on LinkedIn and be that. That will be my measurement. I literally did that because I'm a nerd. But it did really work on the measuring side. And that was even before the internet was useful. Didn't even know there was like a SMART goal. The other one is attainable.
Which is spelled wrong.
Which is spelled wrong on the worksheet. I will fix it. It needs to be within reach. To have a 16-year-old say, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I turn 18, and have no basis or plan or idea of how they're going to do that, that's just a wish, not a goal. If you've never made $2, then saying I'm going to make $1 million in 3 months is
But is
not
that
attainable.
self-limiting to a degree if you do that?
Yes and no.
Because there are some people that will say you can achieve anything you want to if you put the right things together.
But you can make goals. So let's say your goal, you can start with a goal that's smaller, and as soon as you pass it, like, you need to be able to make $1,000 before you can make 100,000.
Right.
You need to be able to make 100,000 before you're going to touch $1 million. You need to make $1 million before you can make 5, 10.
So attainable in steps.
Attainable in steps. So
okay.
I'm the type of person, my goals are constantly moving. I never completely reach the first goal before I've already moved the goal line. So if I said I was going to make $1,000, as soon as I start to get to 800, I'm like, psh, screw 1,000, let's make 10,000, right? So I feel like I never reach my goals because I always move the goalpost. So you can make it attainable in steps, because let's say business and money, the goal that's going to get you your first 1,000 is different than the process that's going to be needed to make 100,000, to make that, 100,000, million. All those take different goals and steps.
Got it.
The other one is going to be relevant. If you have and desire to be an extrovert, there are going to be aspects of goals that have nothing to do. Like, do you really want to be an extrovert? Is it you really just wanted to be voted into the office and you thought being an extrovert would help you get there? Whatever the goal is, make sure it's relevant to what you actually want to achieve. So if it's a business goal, Don't set a goal to be an extrovert if it's not going to be relevant to you actually setting a business goal. And the other one is time. It needs to have a deadline. Having those empty, like, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, eventually, no, have a very set one. I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 30 days so I can wear my bathing suit. Whatever it is, give it a time. Don't beat yourself up if you don't make the time, but definitely put a time on it, because if you know there's a time and it's real to you, you're going to be more like apt to go after it. You'll get up a little earlier in the morning. You'll take care of it. If you know that just for 30 days I need to focus to achieve this goal, you'll go do it. The first section is just an informal desired goal. So for me, like becoming an extrovert, that's that one down there. It's kind of like a brainstorm, just how would you put down the thing, the way you say it in your mind, what is that goal? Because you have to have a starting space. You can't jump right into a SMART goal if you don't know exactly what that is yet. So whatever it is that thing is, whether it's lose weight, hit 6 figures in your business, hit 7 figures in your business, finish a website, run a marathon, whatever that goal is, put that down in that top section is something to start with and work with.
I'm having trouble with the informal.
Informal, okay, so the process in the worksheet, will break it down into the SMART goal.
Okay.
So the top one is the way you would word it in your head.
Oh, okay.
So that's like me saying, I want to be an extrovert, but that's not measurable, and there's no time on that. And I was trying to, I remember, what is an extrovert? Like, when I see an extrovert, how do I define an extrovert? But I had to start somewhere, and that was, I want to be an extrovert. And then you can break it down into extroverts have lots of friends, extroverts go out to different events, extroverts don't mind talking on stage, they don't mind talking in a group. Like, you can start breaking it down what that means.
All right.
Ignore ranking. That would be if you had multiple goals, pick which one is the priority for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two are the ones that I figured out when I see people that are not achieving their goals. Why are they not achieving it? And I think it's because they have not, in a concrete way, shown what it really means to them. So the next 2 boxes, I think, are probably the most critical on the worksheet because they make the goal meaningful to you. The first one, what happens if you achieve that goal? So what does that goal actually mean to you, your life, your family? And the other one, what happens if you fail to achieve that goal? Make it hit a little home, be really honest. What happens if you don't achieve that? If it's, you'll lose the house, the kids, won't get to go to soccer practice on Saturdays, I won't get to wear the bikini, I'll have less self-confidence. Whatever that really actually means to you, put that in that box. And the next section is going to be what milestones to this goal can be measured. So if we're talking about pounds, you can measure pounds, but that's the easy one. You can also measure your waistline. You can measure your BMI if you have a weight loss goal. What other ones are there for weight loss? Are you happy with your appearance? That's a little bit more subjective. You said inches. Yeah, inches off waistline. If you have a business goal, this could be revenue marks. This could be traffic to your website. This could be your email list. It could be profit versus revenue, and you can get all technical into all the accounting of exactly which numbers you're going to measure. It can be butts in seats, like we have the Musical Arts Schoolhouse or brought on a men's hair grooming place. They want to know exactly how many appointments they have set.
So milestones in this case is really building a Gantt chart or a plan. This would be the plan and the steps along the plan.
Yeah, this is just brainstorming what can be measured so that we can bring it down here and figure out what we're going to track.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, like extroversion, you can't just track, oh, I'm more of an extrovert than I was yesterday. How does that even work? But you can say, I'm going to measure how many events I go to with people outside of my family. I can measure how many LinkedIn friends I have. This one becomes a little bit more, sometimes you have to brainstorm. Like I said, some are easy, some are not, but what gets measured gets done. All right, once you have your actual milestones and you've broken those down and you have a good idea, pick the top 4 that you want to measure, 1, 2, 3, 4 on your worksheet, and then go down and decide how often you are going to measure each one of those measurable milestones. Are you going to measure, revenue in dollars? Are you going to measure inches? Are you going to measure how many events you go to? And then decide if you're going to do those measurements daily, weekly, or monthly. It doesn't matter which ones you do. If you choose monthly and you end up doing it daily, that's fine. Just make sure that you have one consistent measurement that can be tracked on a regular basis for that particular milestone. After you have those, it's just returning back here to our SMART chart at the bottom and just write out what is the specificity of your goal, how are you going to measure that goal, how is that goal attainable and relevant to what you actually want, your vision, and put a time stamp on that goal. When you're complete with that portion, come over here in the bottom right. We started at the very top with an informal goal. Now we're going to be taking it and taking all the information that we've gathered, making it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time stamped, and we're going to make one goal statement. For those of you who are looking to have this repeated over and over again, this is something that you can play, put in a video, put in an audio file, play it every single morning. When people ask you what you're doing, this becomes your mantra until you finish that particular goal. This one statement should sum up the entire goal from where you started informally, adding all the different measurable pieces, and making sure that you have a time which you plan to finish. You can finish early, you can push it out with the goal to have it at a specific time. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye.